Hello, hello. Um, how are you doing, Chandra?
I'm doing good. I've been painting yesterday and today, so it's been a
Ooh,
busy couple of
I didn't think I
days.
knew that you painted.
So I paint like art pieces sometimes, but I'm actually painting like a wall right now.
Oh, okay.
But I do both. I enjoy both.
What type of art pieces do you paint? Also, it is possible that you could be doing an art piece on a wall.
That is true. I am not. It would be fun. I would be scared too. I paint abstract using acrylic paint mostly, and then I've also been dabbling with some ceramic stucco that I really enjoy.
I always love that look. Kay is here. Hello, hello. Gonna text Regina and tell her that we're live. You know, just to see if she's coming. Um, Forest room. I'm just gonna set that up. Excuse me while I scroll through all my tree options.
I'm actually going to do something shocking and restart my computer.
Okay.
Well, not this computer. This computer's good, but my um
Oh, I was prepared for you to disappear for a moment. Okay. But your
oh,
other one.
no, this computer can take anywhere from like 10 to 30 minutes to reboot, and there's no way to predict which one it's going to be.
Hmm.
It is so old. Steve Jobs probably built it in his garage. So
I mean, if you get a new one, it counts as a business expense.
I need to, and I've got a couple other things that I need to do first, but it is definitely on the list because this has not been this has not been great.
You're like, this isn't the vibe.
It's not. And I feel bad because I do like to keep things and use and reuse and recycle, but it's just so slow that I don't know I don't know how to make it functional.
Hmm. I'm burning a new candle from a new Etsy company that I've never bought from before. And it's like really pretty. It just doesn't smell very strongly, but it's called Zuko. And it's like
Oh.
supposed to smell like campfire smoke and wood. It doesn't really. I don't know.
As long as it smells good and it's pretty, even if it doesn't smell like exactly what it's supposed to.
It's like more cinnamony than I expected, but the biggest thing is that like it just doesn't really smell. Like the
Mm.
scent is really subtle, which
Mhm.
normally I'd be all for because it's really hard for me to find candle scents I like.
Mhm.
But like this looked like a really good combo, so I like wanted it to be like stronger.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
We'll see. I bought two other candles from the same company, and we'll see if those scents are stronger. But they're such small tins. I just figured, I'd burn through each
Yeah.
one, kind of, rather than switching them in and out. Who knows? I'll probably change my mind tomorrow and be like, I'm gonna switch. Okay. Okay. What are you working on today, Chandra? Aside from restarting your computer?
I'm going to be painting some more.
Oh, right. You
Uh,
just said. I'm so
well,
sorry. My brain's a little scattered
no,
today.
you're good. I thought I was actually going to be done, but I'm nowhere. I poked around. I went to the store. I went to Target, and I got a new curtain rod and stuff. So, um, I've got everything else lined up, and there's the last thing I need to do. I'm gonna have to put in 3/4 round and put in some caulking around the baseboards and trim. So I'm gonna take measurements for that after I finish. I'm almost done cutting and then I'm gonna roll the walls. So I figure that shouldn't take me too much longer once I finish cutting in. Um, so yeah, once that's done, let everything dry and I'll take the measurements then.
Um, I need to do some more Photoshop work for templates regarding. So this is a mock-up. I mean, this is white, but a mock-up of how the Lenormand deck box is going to look.
Ooh.
So they sent all these different templates, but like not in editable files. So I have to rebuild them myself
Mhm.
in Photoshop. So I did almost all of it yesterday. And then there's one where I was like, I don't know this measurement. And that like changes me centering something. So like I
Mhm.
need to know that measurement. And then the rest is just, I got too tired yesterday.
Yeah.
So
That
I
that
can,
sounds like a lot.
yeah, I can do two more things on my own without the answer, which I still haven't gotten. And then I can, well, okay, so that's two things for the box itself. And then the back of the cards is just a single one. So it's easy to like size, but then I have to size all 36 cards.
This is fine. You can do hard things.
I can, doesn't change the fact that it's not tedious. And also, I have to finish logging expenses, which is also tedious.
That's just the best.
I want to get back to editing so badly. And this is like copy editing, which is not my favorite type of editing, but at least it's story related and not just like numbers in one capacity or another. And I don't dislike numbers. I just like only doing numbers or only doing editing. I need the variety,
Mhm.
but the
Yeah.
deadlines for like this logging needs to be done so that I can turn in an income statement to the printer. Who's printing this? So like they both got to be done.
Yeah. So super fun.
That's a word. I don't know if it applies. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it does, or whatever the Princess Bride quote is. Um, okay, Kay says she's ready to write. Regina, I don't know what you're going to be doing during this first sprint, but you can let us know when we check back in. Let's add the timer. And then I guess we'll just wait until the 3:10 mark so that it's easy to say we'll come back at the 3:35 mark, or the 35-minute mark if you're in a different time zone. Yep. Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. I normally have typing ASMR built in, but today I have a little bit of a headache, so I'm going to keep it silent.
That went really fast. I I think it's probably a good thing to be sprinting like this and remember to get up and leave the room where I'm painting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So you're not constantly breathing in the fumes?
yeah. I have everything as opened up just to let the let the space breathe, but when you get really focused, you don't realize how fast time is going.
Yeah. How many cards? I got 3 cards done, plus the card back, plus the card, like, for some reason they paste in an extra card into the tray.
Mhm.
So I did that, but I didn't feel like adding the guidelines for the thing that folds into the tray, which is all going to be black anyway. But I
Yeah.
was like, the cards are going to be faster because I've technically already done them, but I'm just like doing a triple check that it's within the bleed lines that they had told me.
Mhm.
Um, so that there are no issues. So far, we're all good, which is good because I spent like hours and hours on doing that like months ago. Um, so it's a little redundant, but I don't want there to be any mistakes, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a productive sprint for me. I didn't fully finish. I think for the next sprint, I will do the tray that folds and then continue doing the cards. Um, so I said this last night on Holly's channel. I wouldn't mind if Photoshop was like, what size canvas do you want? Do you want to add bleed? And then you just typed it in, and it could either be
Mhm.
like, yes, it's uniform on all 4 sides, or you like change it, whatever, like InDesign does. But it doesn't. So what I have to do is add like 6 millimeters to the height and the width of everything, and then add guidelines at like, oh, here's the new total number I have, subtract 3 to like do the, and then also this, and then to do the top and the left one, it's easy, just, it's at the 3 millimeter mark for both ones. But then when I'm doing the other lines, I have to either add 3 or subtract 3, and it's like a pain in the butt.
Yeah, that does not sound like fun at all.
Yeah.
I think math is the worst when you're like, if you're just sitting down to like do math, that's one thing. But if you're having to like take math and apply it to something, applied math is what it is. Applied math is the worst.
It's like when I was younger, applied math, I think, was the only time that I cared because I'm like, it's accomplishing something.
Mhm.
But like now that I'm doing it, I'm like, I kind of wish I had just crunched all the numbers in advance and then could just like run through it. I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna do that the next time I have stuff like this to do. But also the good news is that assuming we use the same printer for any future decks, any future Lenormand decks at least, I'll have all the templates already built into my Photoshop. So
Yeah. Well, that'll be nice.
yes, it will. Yes, it will.
I'm hoping, so I realized I'm gonna have to actually do 2 coats of paint, which I didn't really wanna do, but
I'm
it's
sorry.
fine.
My mom's running like a blender. I did not hear any of what you just said.
I said I think I'm gonna have to do 2 coats of paint, which I didn't really want to do, but I know it'll look better in the long run.
Mm.
And I'm already here, I'm already doing it, I might as well do it right, yada, yada, yada.
Well, can you like finish the first coat, wait a week, think about it in
No,
that week
because
and do it, or does it have to all be?
it kinda has to all be because it's in my room, so all of my stuff is, like, just pushed into the center of the room,
Oh yeah, yes. So
covered in
okay, yes.
plastic.
Then I would go right for the double coat if it's
Yeah.
gonna look better.
So it's I'm gonna be sad about it, but in the end, I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah.
But it's not as bad. Yesterday, I painted the ceiling,
Oh,
um, and it's definitely better than that. So Yeah,
Regina's
Regina, if I
friend.
yeah, that's me. That's my name.
See, I would because it's a certain type of task I don't normally do. So I'd like put it in my calendar or something and be like,
Yeah.
boom. Whereas if it's
Yeah.
like, oh, remember to like do a chore next week, I'd be like, I want to remember because the chore needs to get done, but it's like much more minor. So it's not like gonna, if I don't write it down in a million places, good luck remembering.
When I put the furniture back where it's supposed to be, it's done. And if,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that makes
so
sense. I didn't realize it was in your like bedroom. Like if it were like, I thought it was maybe in a room that like you have it, but it's not like one you're
yeah.
regularly using.
I think that's gonna make the rest of it easier because I know, I've gotta do my bathroom at some point in time. I'm gonna fix it. It's needed work for a bit, and I've been putting it off. Um, and then yeah, I mean, honestly, there's just kind of everything needs work and love, and so I'm just gonna be breaking it off into smaller chunks and being like, "Okay, I can do this room. I can do that room. I can."
Yeah. But
uh,
so before I moved into my apartment, they were like, we have to repaint it in
Mhm.
between tenants. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. When my mom had gotten her apartment, it had actually just recent, like within 5 years of her getting the apartment, had been completely gutted and redone by the people who owned it beforehand. And we are like, oh, it's gorgeous, blah, blah, blah. We made changes to like the wall color and other things. It was fine. And then we find out that the paint that they used in the kitchen and the bathrooms, which have steam and moisture, was like some rubber thing. So the moment there was any moisture, it looked like it was sagging. So we had to fix
Oh.
that. And then the tiles in the kitchen weren't put in properly. So when you put in tiles, you're supposed to put like, I don't know, like the whole thing is supposed to be covered in like, I don't think it's
No.
cement, but whatever it
A
is.
grout?
Yes, and then you put the tiles and then you also grout in between them. They were
Mhm.
grouted in between them, but there was like only a dot of grout underneath each tile. So if you put any weight on any of the edges, they were like breaking in.
Oh. Oh,
So
no.
it took, my mom had to get, my mom wound up just redoing the entire kitchen and the layout is so much better now.
Mhm.
That ended right before shutdown. We were so lucky
Oh, yeah. Oh,
because
that
like
would've been the worst.
there was a period where we were like, is it even safe to order in food? Which, first of all, is incredibly expensive to begin with. But it's like, if we're not preparing it, is that safe? At
Mhm.
the start of lockdown and everything. So we were like, thank God we have our kitchen. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would've been real rough.
woof, would have been my reaction.
It's fine, I'll just live off of Pop-Tarts.
Well, it's fine. We'll buy a mini fridge that we'll then have to sell after everything because what are we going to do with the mini fridge?
Although, I saw this, it's like a Frigidaire style, like, throwback mini fridge that matches it's the same color as my walls,
Okay, yeah, you kind of need, yes.
and I'm like, "Do I need it? No. But would it go great in my office?
Yeah,
Absolutely."
I would encourage you to do it. I'm so bad right now. I'm encouraging you to spend money
It's
on something you
so
don't need,
cute.
but it's like if it's so perfect.
Yeah, yeah. I have to send you a picture because it's so cute. I'm gonna, like, go into the store and I'd be like, "Hey, I'm just here to take a picture of the fridge that I love."
It'll
They're
be like, I'll be back.
they were
And either
super
you will
nice.
be or you won't be, but
Well, and it had a matching toaster too, so I was just like,
I
"Why are
have
you
a
looking at me
toaster.
like that?"
I have a toaster, but I never use it. And my mom was like, "Oh, do you have a toaster?" Because there was a period where I was like sick
Mhm.
last month, like most of last month, I was sick, and there's only so many crackers you can eat before you get a little bit bored. So my mom's like, "Oh, you should make toast." I was like, "I don't have a toaster." She's like, "Yes, you do. I gave you one." And I was like, "Oh, I have not used it once in like the 2.5 years that I've lived in my apartment." She's like, "But you have it." And I'm like, "Yes, I just
I
forgot."
I have a toaster oven that I use for everything, which is why I'm like, toaster, no. Could I use one?
No,
Probably.
you have a toaster oven. So my mom has a toaster and a toaster oven.
Mhm.
And if it were me, I'd be like, just pick one. What she
The
does
thing,
have that I do love is the bagel guillotine that she saw advertised online, and then she got it, and I'm like, yes.
ooh, that sounds fun.
So you just so they're like there's this base, and then there's like plastic on each side, like kind of like shaped like this, but vertical. And you put
Hmm.
your bagel in, and then there's like a handle with a giant blade, and you just
That does
it
sound
feels
like.
kind of like you're detonating TNT each time, and your bagel's cut in half.
I feel like I would buy uncut bagels just for that.
Well, the really, really good bagels in New York, like if you're going to the place, they sometimes cut them for you, but other times if you're buying in bulk, like is the main time my mom's buying bagels,
Mhm.
is because like, oh, we're just gonna have this spread at my mom's kitchen. So it's like here are the multiple bagels, here are all the things we're gonna put on them and with our company, and then we'll do it ourselves. So in those, she's like, no, don't cut them because then they'll get harder faster. So
Yeah.
she yeah.
I think the only place that we have to get bagels really in the South is Panera, and so I don't really eat bagels.
Well, if you ever visit me in New York, we will go to Tall Bagel and you will experience the best bagel on the planet.
I'm here for that because, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things like at work when they're like, "Oh, we got, bagels from Panera," then like you eat one. But I don't to me, like I never go to Panera and order a bagel. Like I'm not gonna do that.
I don't think I wouldn't go to Panera for that. It's like, no, you should be going to like a Jewish delicatessen for a bagel, but Tall Bagels are like the peak.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's also for me, it's like I like to experience the things the way that they're supposed to be experienced.
Yeah.
So,
I will say there is a different place that my mom and I get our lox from because it does taste better than Tall's lox. Not that Tall's lox is bad, but like once we discovered a better option, we're like, okay, we'll get everything else from Tall's. But
yeah,
um,
that's fair.
yeah. Also, I'm like really picky about salmon. I used to love it all the time, and then now it's like too fishy for me all the time, except for this specific lox.
That
So
makes sense.
so my mom
I'm
is
like,
like, I'm just glad you're eating salmon, and I'm like, I mean, I eat other fish. She's like, yeah, but like that's mostly whitefish. So like, I'm glad you're eating salmon,
yeah,
even if it's like once a month when we do a bagel thing.
I don't want a bagel. I'm coming to New York. Hi,
Woo!
Laura.
Hi, Laura. Yeah, come to New York. Maybe not in June. I'll be recovering from surgery. They're taking the rods out of my legs. It's a good surgery. It's a planned surgery. It's not an emergency surgery, but it's like my surgeon, God bless him, was like, oh, yeah, for the ones where they put the rods in and it was all very intense. He's like, yeah, you'll be fine in 3 weeks. I was not like pain wise. So
Mhm.
now he's like, oh, 3 days. And I'm like, okay, so like 2 weeks minimum.
You're like, I've developed some trust issues with you, so
Yeah, it's like how long you think I experience pain is not accurate.
yeah,
Uh, he was accurate on how long it should take things to heal, but like post-op pain, he could not. He was maybe he's right for some people, but his guess for me was very, very wrong. Because he's like, "Oh, you're a young, healthy person." I was like, "I'm a young person with a lot of chronic pain issues, and I think that skews certain things."
yeah. Oh, for
So
sure.
yeah, the force room code is up. We have people in it. Laura, I forget. Do you use the Forest app? And if so, would you like me to wait for you? Regina, I know you use it. However, you don't currently have a device to use it on. Second of all, if you are going to get a new iPad through Rebelo, I think I was saying Rebello before. I think it's double. I can't remember where the double E is. Anyway, Um, that website that I recommended, where you can get like really good quality, but like for cheaper. Normally, sometimes it's full price as well. Um, I now have an affiliate link for that, so hopefully you haven't already bought your thing, and I can send you that link.
I might need that as well. 'Cause,
Yeah, it's great. Let me grab it.
I
I'll
haven't
pop it in
decided
the.
what kind of computer I'm getting yet, but keep it in mind.
They sell a lot of things on there, and like they sell Apple stuff on there as well. It's how I got the business iPad and how
Mhm.
I got some headphones. It's interestingly enough not how I got the business phone. I did get that refurbished off of Amazon. Um, but they sell refurbished phones and not just Apple devices. I did get the new MacBook, like the MacBook completely new, just because they had like the new M3 chip in it or something, and I don't think Robilo is selling that yet.
Mhm.
Where the heck is this link?
I think I'm most proud of the fact that I have nails right now. Broken any doing this, knock on wood.
Okay, hold on. Sign in. Oh, it's still under review. Okay, you know what? Just go ahead and buy it. Because I don't want to make you wait, Regina. It is REEBELO.com. Hopefully, when I get approved to become an affiliate, I'd get 3% off. Not 3%, 3% commission, which is awesome. But it's yeah. So yeah, really cool website. That said, let's start the next sprint. I missed the 50-minute mark that I was aiming for. Whoopsie. So maybe everyone set your own timers for 25 minutes if you're not in the Forest app, because the timer for this stream is going to stay on mute, just because I have a little bit of a headache today, but I still need to get work done, which is why we're just going to try and minimize things. 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity. Regina, you have a wrench on this channel, so you didn't have to write space dot space com. But yes, that is the website. I'll make it clickable.
I finished cutting in the first time and started on the second coat. So um, the paint dries really quick, which is nice.
Oh, that is nice. I was worried
So
you were gonna have to wait for forever. That's why I was like, oh, can you put it off for a week?
I may have to actually wait a little while before I put the second coat, like when I'm rolling on, because that's going to go so much faster. But what I figure is I'll finish this. By the time I finish cutting in again, it should be ready for me to roll, and then I can roll, go eat dinner. Actually, no, I'll roll, take measurements for the quarter round that I need, go eat dinner, get the quarter round, cut it, and then, yeah, by that point in time,
I
everything
haven't
should
painted
dry.
a room in so long. What's the cord for? Please remind me.
So when my floors were done, uh, there was no it's like a laminate flooring, and there was a baseboard, but it was just carpet, so it was fine. But now that it's the laminate, there's a gap between the baseboard and the flooring. So the quarter round is that like beveled piece that goes across and around that to kind of keep everything together. So I'm gonna put that in. It's not terribly difficult. I've done it before. The biggest thing is you have to measure and cut the pieces and then seal it before you paint it. So that may not get done. It's not going to get done today. Let me be real.
You're like, it definitely is not gonna get done today.
Yeah, I was being optimistic, but it's not going to happen.
Optimism
So
is good though.
I'm gonna do the best that I can, get as much done as I can. Um, I don't work today, so that's fine. I do work tomorrow, so, we'll see.
Mm.
Just gonna give it my best shot, and it may be that I just end up doing, um, baseboards, like, in the middle of the night. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Um, I did the crazy
A piece in the box?
yeah, with all my God. Okay, so I'm gonna just quickly, sorry, stop the timer and show everyone how insane. So I had to add all the blue lines based on what a bunch of numbers said on a PDF that the printer had sent me. Um, because they just didn't send them as individual things that I could overlay. Um,
That should be a country song, shouldn't it?
yeah. I had to add all those lines.
Ooh. That
That
doesn't
took
seem like a
half
good
the
time.
sprint. That took half the sprint.
Well, because you have to measure them out, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's the problem. It's not like, oh, adding them is fine, but them doing the math of are they spaced correctly?
What confuses me is, like, with all of the, like, with Canva and, uh, Adobe Pro and, like, all the editing stuff, why don't they have a Cartesian grid that you can lay in the center and make your measurements out from there? Instead
So
of that teeny tiny ruler that they have up on the top and on the sides, because that drives me
so
crazy.
on Photoshop you can do view guide. No, that's not it. I'm sorry. I know in InDesign you can show a grid. Where is it here? Show, okay, view show grid. It's faint. It shows up. It's faint in the share screen. It shows up
Gotcha.
better. in the actual thing. So there is that, but none of these lines line up for that grid, so that like it wasn't helpful.
Yeah.
Uh,
Because I know the one in Canva is unfortunately useless. I've
um,
I've tried to
that,
use it for stuff, and I'm just like, mm.
that's frustrating. I mean, at least InDesign and Canva both have a bleed option, whereas this one in Photoshop, I'm like having to build my own. Like that's what the topmost, bottommost, leftmost, and rightmost lines were. We're like, here's the bleed, and then everything else is the math part.
That yeah, you did good. I would have been like, you know what? Nope.
I don't understand, but I'm proud of it. Okay. Well, basically, when they print stuff, they're like, oh, if it's going to the edge, you need to have your image be larger so that when we cut it, it's not like, oh, there's like a white edge around anything. And this is the same for book pages or whatever. And then, I mean, theoretically, that is just a rectangle because they wouldn't give me like these are the angles of the different flaps and things like that. So I was just building it like a grid. So theoretically, I could have just been like, okay, here's the bleed and here's like smack dab center. But because I wanted to know how big to make the little icon on other ones, I had to like do like, okay, where's the box, the demo box? Here it is. Okay. So you have a template with lots of folding, but I need to know how big the actual big rectangle is where like things are going to be. So I can't just be like, oh, if I just put something in the center, it's fine. It's true. However, I don't want to center it by accident and then make it so big that it goes off the edges.
Yeah.
Because
So you have to center
centered.
it, but it also has to be sized right to fit so that when they cut it, they're not cutting off a part that you actually need on there. And
Yes.
then
Or, well,
also,
in this case, it would be like if it's centered, it's not going to get cut off. But if I don't size it correctly, it could then be like on one of the folds, and then that would look bad.
yeah.
So that took half the sprint, and then I did one card or two cards. I don't know, but yeah, it wasn't a lot. So
But you did the worst part first, right?
yes, I did the worst part first. Now it's just doing the cards to make sure. All but one of the cards that I've done were perfect as they were. One of them, I realized for some reason the art wasn't actually perfectly centered, so I did fix that, which is good. Now to just keep chucking along.
Yay.
We'll see how many I can do in this next sprint. I've done 32 of 30. And no, we're counting backwards. My bad. I've done 5 plus the back. So I've done 6 of 37.
That's pretty good.
So far between 2 sprints and a bunch of other grid thingies that I was describing. So if I'm starting at 31, we'll see how far I get.
Cool. I feel like I'm on a roll, and I also won't have to be like I still need to be careful, but I don't have to be as detailed on the second coat because it's just like to keep it from having lines where the paint wasn't like on quite thick enough. It's just kind of glossing over, so I can just kind of work pretty quickly. What takes the most time is scooting the ladder along. But
I mean, you're painting the walls so you wouldn't be able to do it, but I'm just imagining the wall that like the ladder that Belle jumps on and like slides. But then I saw a real librarian try it, and it was so funny because it's like it only goes like an inch or something, or maybe 2 inches at a time, and I was just like, fiction is sometimes better than reality. I mean, often, most of the time, better than
I
reality.
feel like they have one at this bar that it's like a restaurant bar, and they have one of those ladders on there, and it definitely doesn't, but at the same time, it was like, imagine being in potions and you're, like, trying to grab these bottles and the ladder's just, like, sliding all over. Feel
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Stress.
But if you're magic and can do potions, I feel like you would just levitate the things down.
Yeah, it'd be easier.
Like as a short person, if I can make things float up or to me,
Mhm.
up and down, whatever, like that is, yes, that and like teleportation. Those are the two things that I'd want the most to make my life easier. Oh,
To
and
me,
also
that's
like to pull some Fantasia stuff, like to enchant things to do
mhm.
chores, but correctly, not like Mickey does it and completely messes up, but like how it's supposed to be done.
Oh my gosh, you know how productive I would be? I would get so much stuff done.
Like that's what AI is supposed to be doing for us.
Yeah, like, if AI could do my dishes, please, while I paint this wall,
I mean,
that would be
honestly,
great.
AI could probably paint your wall for you too, eventually.
Maybe, but well, the thing that would make it challenging for AI is that it is not uniform. Like there's a popcorn ceiling, and whoever did the popcorn ceiling didn't do a great job. So like some of the popcorn is on like the edge of the wall. So you have to kind of decide, is this piece of popcorn wall or is it ceiling? Then
Yeah.
paint accordingly. It's like, okay, that doesn't look too bad.
I was just thinking you'd like scan the whole room and then
Hmm.
like kind of like in Sims, like you'd delete
Oh
the
yeah, where you just like
stuff.
click in it.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. That would be so great.
But yeah, we're not there yet. And that's where we should be going. And I don't think that's the direction we're headed.
Yeah, like stop trying to write books for me. I don't want you to do that. I want you to paint my walls and do my dishes and weed the poison ivy out of my garden. Like
Yeah.
do those things.
Yeah. Like even if you wanted to paint a mural, like have the AI paint like the base, whatever, like the primer.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
if you're gonna do like one color in the whole background, do the primer and then the thing, and then you paint you know what I mean? It's like do the foundation of like, I don't want to do this part.
Yeah, like the prep part that's just tedious and needs to be done.
And has no artistry to it.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Ooh, yes. Yes, yes.
I needed to like dump my laundry in the wash, do the proper settings, and then dry it either in the machine like it's supposed to, or no, not to, and like hang it up and then also fold it for me. Like, I think if it could do that, that would probably make my life so much easier. Like, if I didn't have to worry about laundry, I would be so much quicker to do my dishes. It's like,
Oh. I think whenever I'm like, I need to clean something, I'm like, "Let me just throw in a load of laundry." Do I
I
fold
don't
it
know. My
and put it
brain like
away?
doesn't like both. It's like you're washing two large sets of things, either dishes or laundry, and when those are done, you're gonna have to put them away. So pick one.
Mhm. I do I do break my dishes down into small chunks, and it's like, okay, I have a really small
I
dish
thought you were
rack.
gonna say you broke your dishes, and I was like,
Instead of washing them, just try breaking them. No, I'll do, like, one dish rack, but it's half size from my when I had a studio apartment, and so, I'll, like, wash dishes till it's full, and then I'm like, "Okay, now we do another task. When that's done, we don't have to do anything else until the dishes are dry." And it's how I, like, bribe myself into
that's
doing stuff.
smart. Maybe I'll start doing that. I say maybe, I make no promises.
Try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you tried.
True, true.
Threads was saving my life yesterday because I sat down for a second and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get up again and keep going because yeah, I was not with it. And everyone was like, "Get up, go, you can do it. You're almost done." It was great. There was like they didn't know what I was working on. It was the painting stuff that I finished what I was doing, so I really appreciated. all the
That's
encouragement.
that's really cool. Um, Whiskey Foxtrot Tango, November Victor Yankee, Sierra Golf. It is all letters this time, which is randomly generated, so I had no control over it. We're also one letter. We're switched the letters on WTF, and we're one letter away from envy. Chandra's in the room. I know Kay said the words aren't wording, so she's going to switch over to reading. I don't know if she's going to be joining the forest room, but Auburn is in there. And it's the 35-minute mark, so I think we're just going to start the next sprint. In 3, 2, 1. Happy productivity, everyone. I think I've been forgetting to put the tickers up. So whoops. We have one more sprint left to do. And I did a lot, but I'm going to wait for Chandra to return, hopefully, before I say what I got done. Auburn left. Riley, I'll walk you soon, okay? For the next sprint, clearly I'll be walking her, and then I will be doing more. When you journal, is it like a to-do list, or do you like write stuff that's happened, or both? I'm just curious. Hey, how'd you do?
I got everything done that I needed a ladder to reach. So going forward, it'll be just standing or scooting around on the floor, and then next up, rolling.
I mean, it's nice you're not gonna have to do it the ladder anymore.
Yeah, that honestly, that's the most time-consuming part is like getting up, scooting, painting, getting down, scooting the ladder. That part's exhausting.
Yeah, I get that. I completed 27 cards in 25 minutes.
That's amazing.
I have 4 more to go, though. I'm a little peeved I didn't get all of them done.
But you did do the worst one first, so now it's gonna feel like
I might have been able to get the cards done actually if I hadn't realized there was a color mismatch on the booklet cover.
Mhm.
So I had to fix that. It's like for
Big
some
thing.
reason the black background that Veronica King does in her software, when it gets exported, we put it in Canva first so we could like do the purple lines that she wanted,
Mhm.
and then added text. Or we added text in there, and then we downloaded it, and then I redid the text in Photoshop so it'd be higher resolution and stuff. Her black background isn't the black of like Canva or of Photoshop or anything, and I thought I had fixed all of
Oh.
that, and I hadn't. I'd forgotten like one thing, so I was like, darn it. I might have been able to finish it all if I hadn't had to fix that.
But you caught it, so
Yeah. Because I was just looking at everything I had saved. I'm like, okay, done, done, done. Oh, there's an error here. My old Sheltie peed in the kitchen waiting for the chicken to come out of the microwave. Sigh. I thought I could just do the down arrow to change the comments, and clearly you can't do that on StreamYard. I don't know why I thought I could. It's all cleaned up now, but I am still surprised when I step.
yeah,
Yeah, been there.
that's such a Piper did that a lot when I first got her. I don't think that she was used to having someone listen to her, so she never would indicate that she needed to go out.
Oh, poor baby.
And so I would just like get up and go somewhere and then step in something, and I was like I went to the vet and I was like, she keeps doing this. I was like, I don't know what to do. I take her out. I don't know what to do. And she was like, if you bell train her, a lot of times that helps. So I did that, and she finally started letting me know. But it was really hard with like she was about 4 or 5 at the time. Like I didn't expect to deal with like puppy puppy stuff.
We tried bell training Riley. It did not happen. Um, so she'll like cry at us.
Hmm.
And if it's really, really insistent, like without any breaks, we know that's either I need to go out or I went inside because you stupid humans didn't take me out in time. And I do think she thinks that we're stupid beings. Like she's very much like a cat. I don't think she's like, oh, like my lovely owners. I think she's very much like, these are my staff and they didn't do what I needed to do. So now I need to tell them to clean up my mess. So I was seeing a thing that like cats know that we're not kittens, but they assume like they treat us like adult cats because they like live in groups. Like the domesticated cats are descended from like African cats instead of European cats or
Hmm.
something. So African cats like live in groups and it's, everyone parents all the kittens
Hmm.
and things like that. And they will regular and the reason that they bring you like dead animals and stuff is because they always brought back a surplus of stuff for like the people in I don't think the term was colony, but like in the
Hmm.
group who couldn't hunt for themselves either because they were old or injured or like a kitten and didn't know how to hunt yet or things like that. And so
They're like, there, you're not very good at this.
exactly, yeah. Um, so yeah, which I knew, but the other information was new to me. So I was like, oh,
That's funny.
pretty soon they ring the would so mom would stop looking at the computer. I put the bell away. I mean, though it works.
Well,
Holly's dog, Astrid, is like very clear about when she wants to go outside, and Holly normally is like does it almost immediately. There are times when she's streaming and she'll be like, okay, wait a few minutes and then does it. And I
mhm,
know Bree Bonomo was doing the same with her puppy. She was like, I have to do it immediately so that like they
I get the
understand the association. And then when, you know, I can't remember if it's a girl or a boy dog, gets older, then I can maybe start pushing it off like, oh, I'll do it in a few minutes or something. But yeah.
yeah. Piper did that. Now she knows. She actually broke her bell because she doesn't just like she never just like would delicately ring the bell. She'd run up to it and then slam both paws down on it and it would, you know,
Body slam. High paw.
yeah. So it died, but she
That's really
does
cute though.
yeah, she does still like understand the same concept, so she knows I'm paying attention now, so she'll like bark at me or whine or something to let me know, but before she just didn't. She was just like, "Nobody understands me. Guess I'll go pee in a corner."
Yeah. The worst is though when and it's very rare that Riley has accidents now. It's normally my mom and I got too caught up in computer stuff or TV stuff or something. And we just completely miss the time zone, the time period where it's like this is the latest we take her out to avoid something. Um and you are going because you have to go to the bathroom. And she didn't do it on the pad, but like right when you walk in and you're like, there's a pad right there
Yeah.
for this very situation.
I tried to
Instead
do
of
that with Piper, and she would not use a pad at all, and it was hard because when I first got her, like, I didn't go anywhere for probably 6 months or something when I got her, and so when I finally, like, went to go somewhere, I had, um, family come check on her, and she freaked out and wouldn't come out of her crate, and that's my thing, whoever's watching her, I'm like, "Look, if she won't goes in her crate and she won't come out, don't pull her out, don't try to force her to come out. That's her safe space. She goes in there. She doesn't want anyone to, touch her or do anything. She's scared, so just leave her alone."
yeah,
And So I was like, if she goes on the floor, she goes on the floor, and that's okay because I can clean that up, but just don't stress her out anymore.
than she
And
already is.
yeah, and she did really well with that, but I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, kennels or crates are, like, really bad," but she loves hers, like, if I move it somewhere or, like, make too many changes at the same time, she's, like, not having it. She's like, "This is my sanctuary. I would like it to be how it always is, and, don't touch it. This is mine."
As we're talking, my mom is telling me that Riley had an accident because I didn't take her out at the top of the hour like I was supposed to.
Well, I feel like my bad.
Sorry, mom. Whoops. She knows how to go fully on the pad, and for some reason, she doesn't always do it fully. It'll be like half, and it's like, point is to go fully on the pad.
Yeah. I mean, that's what
I think it's her acting out a little bit. I think it's her little fuck you.
that's fair. That's fair. I was hoping that Piper would at least do that. That way, like, when someone came to let her out and they would fill her food and water and just, when I'm not here, like, if I'm gonna be gone for a couple of days, she doesn't stay in her crate. It's only, like, um, if I'm here and, like, I'm going to the grocery store or, like, just doing a quick errand, then she stays in there. But, like, when I'm going away, I can, like, put everything that she could get into up out of the way. Um, and so I'm just like, "The house is yours." Um, but she would never go on a pad, and I was like, "Well, if she's gonna be too scared, they'll put her food and water, she'll go in her crate, and then when they leave, she'll come out." And, I was hoping that she would, like, start to pick it up, and she's like, "Nah."
So before, okay, hon. My dogs think of crates as safe havens. Yep. Chihuahua thinks if he's looking at the pad, yeah, that's apparently what Riley thinks now too. So when Riley was a puppy, before my mom and I got her, she was only went on the pad. And then we got her, and all the trainers were like, you need to like pick pad or outside. So we picked outside. But then she hates the rain. So we are like, and like if it's thunderstorming, she like basically refuses to go out. And we're like, there has to be a better solution. We found our dog walker who we've now had for years. He is a dog whisperer. And he's like, yeah, I can train her, no problem. Trains her. She now uses the pad. Now she's getting a little bit lax about how well she aims on it, which is a little bit like, but she still does it. And then he was like, oh, just put a pad in your bathroom at my apartment and she'll do it. I was like, she did it. He was like, okay, do this. And I was like, I'm doing what you told me, but it's not working. He's like, okay, I'll come over to your place one day and I'll just train her. And we've been putting it off for months, but he's finally coming next week and he's gonna like train her to do it in my apartment. But in my apartment, knock on wood, she's actually gonna have to be at my apartment on Friday. And I'm hoping I'm not jinxing myself by saying this. She's never had an accident in my apartment because she'll just like whine until I take her out. And
Mhm,
she is like, I will hold this. Whereas here, she knows she has an option,
mhm.
which is good because we wanted her to have that option, but it doesn't always work out well because no longer goes in the center.
Yeah. Piper did, she does not like weather that is, like, if it's cold and wet or if it's, like, cold and snowy and it's, like, wet snow, she's not about that. So when we had, like, a big storm and it was super cold here, and it doesn't usually get that cold, she was like, "I'm not gonna go." And I'm like, "Well, you can't not go. You need to, I know that you need to go." And she's like, "Well, I'm not gonna."
Yeah.
I, like, opened the door to take her out, and she just, like, backed into the house
I'm just going to
and was
bring
like,
Riley on camera.
"Nope." So,
Riley.
sometimes with weather, you just gotta let them do their thing, because otherwise you're just making them miserable, but I pretty much don't drag her into anything. If I have to, get her to do stuff, I always try to encourage her with treats and things, but if she really doesn't wanna do something, unless it's safety related, then I'm just like, "Oh."
My mom reassured me that she did actually get most of it on the pad, so it's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah, that's good.
Little Missy. She has full reign of the apartment at my mom's. When she stays with me, if she's staying overnight, like she sleeps on my bed and it's low enough that she can jump down and theoretically go to my bathroom and use the pad, but she hasn't figured out yet. So that's why we're training her. But I have like a doggy gate, so she can't like go into the kitchen and like start scratching at my cabinet to like try and reach the treats because I don't want to be doing that in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But she has, during the pandemic, my mom and I briefly like moved out of the city to like try to go to a less populated area and whatever. And I don't remember why, but we were like, let's get her a different carrier. And it's this one we bought off Amazon. And when it came out of the plastic, it stank so badly. We had to like put it on the little balcony and like air it out. But Riley wanted to climb into it immediately because the sides open up. So it's like it kind of looks like a tent. And now it's just like her permanent favorite spot in my mom's apartment. And whenever my mom's cleaning lady moves it, like Riley very clearly is just walking around waiting for it to come back on the ground for her to be able to go it.
Excuse me, I'm gonna need you to put my house back. Put it back.
Put it back where you found it. Yeah. So
that's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Riley, yes. My younger Sheltie, 5 years old, has trained on pads, surgeries, and what enjoyed. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Riley has not figured out that she can also poop on a pee pad. She's like, if she does it inside, it's not great.
The last time Piper had an accident, and it was a pretty big accident, but it ended up being okay. It had been raining a lot, and I had her like I had specific towels that I put down on the floor for when she comes in so she can wipe her feet. And I was gone overnight. And so she was out in the house, and I forgot that I hadn't put her a new bag of food. So it was sealed, but I had a new bag of food, and she ripped it open. And I know she just stuck her head in the bag and ate as much as she possibly could. She did have an accident. It was right by the door, so she peed on the towel and then like went next to it. And I was just like, that's my bad. That I did that. That's my fault.
I mean, yeah, you knew. You're like, this might be. Now I know.
Yeah. I thought it would be fine because it was sealed and it's like heavy plastic.
When there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, she was like, and she'd already had dinner too, so she wasn't
Riley
hungry.
once tricked my mom into giving her a second dinner. So
she tries because we
yeah.
have a routine for that. So she'll come in, she'll sit down in her spot, and she'll just look at me.
Well, my mom had been napping, and I was like, I'm not going to let Riley wake up my mom. I'll just make her dinner. Then my mom woke up from her nap and gave her dinner. And I was in my room working, and all of a sudden I hear like the stuff in the kitchen. I'm like, wait, Mom, I already fed her. It's like, oh, and Riley's halfway through the meal, and I'm like, I think we should take it away so she doesn't overstuff herself. So she got like 1.5 meals, and I think she looked at me like I was the biggest traitor for ratting her out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do.
Yeah. It's funny though. Riley once pulled orthotics out of someone's shoes and also unzipped someone's bag. Like pulled someone's bag off a chair and then unzipped it. So she's too smart.
Yeah. Yeah. I that's why I'm like, if I'm gonna be gone for a couple of days and I can like take the time to go through everything and make sure there's nothing accessible, nothing that she can get into and eat or that she could hurt herself with, then it's fine if she's in the house. But if I'm just like stepping out for a few minutes, it takes so much time to like go over everything. It's like she'll be, she's crate trained, she'll be okay.
Yeah. It was many years ago. I don't know how many, but like my mom has side tables on either side of the couch so that like if we're drinking water or I'm drinking tea, my mom's drinking coffee or like, alcohol or whatever while we're watching a movie or a TV show. whatever. My mom had a cup of coffee. It was almost done. My mom walked into the kitchen or went to the bathroom or something for a second while I also left. I probably went to the bathroom. She probably went to the kitchen or whatever. We both come back at the same time with Riley sticking her face down into my mom's cup, and and we couldn't tell she had drunk any coffee. And then we found out later, oh, you're hyper and also had some digestive accidents. So now we're always like, because she can jump on the couch and it's, she just leans over. So we're like, nope, nothing. Everything has to be on the dining room table or on the kitchen table.
Yeah. Yep.
Lesson learned.
I don't know if I told you my rotisserie chicken story.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like my
first.
first.
Our final sprint soon, but we're just having fun.
I mean, it was the crazy thing was I was on my way back from the trip, so I think it was the only time that the sitter wasn't here with her. I have one who will like do drop-ins, and then I have another one depending on what I'm doing or who's available. She'll actually come and like stay the whole time. And I think it was like just a very short gap of when she left and I got home. And in that amount of time, she'd ripped the trash bag open, gotten the rotisserie chicken out, or like what was left of it, and had it out on my bed.
On your bed.
On my bed. I just came home to like a chicken carcass on my bed. And Piper was so proud of herself. And she was so excited to see me. And I was just like,
God damn
it. Yeah, that's my fault. And then I felt bad because I was like, I don't know what exactly she ate. So I had to keep an eye on her, and she had to go out and stay out because I knew what was coming. And my neighbor's super sweet, and he's like, "Hey, somebody's outside, and I think she wants to come in." I'm like, "I'm sure she does. I'm sure she does, but she has done enough."
My mom and I one time, I don't know, it was me. I was filling my pill containers, and my SSRI fell down on the ground, and we couldn't find it. And we're like, did Riley eat it? She's never shown any interest in medicine or something, but this was like before we knew that like she does not care. Like this was early enough that we're like, it was like the first time I had started taking a bunch of medicine. So we're like, is she going to sniff it? Is she accidentally going to like lick it up? Like, even if she doesn't, like, she's trying to just figure out what it is, and maybe it like goes into her mouth or whatever. And we're like looking up, and it's like, can cause all neurological problems in dogs, which makes sense, and all these things. And we're like so panicked, and we take her to the emergency, and they're like, I mean, she wasn't throwing up. Like, we can monitor her overnight, or you could take her home. And my mom was just like, monitor her overnight. It's like, she was fine, but it was
That stuff does worry me. I like try to be really careful. And that's actually one thing I like taught both Dobby and Piper. They know they're not allowed in the kitchen when I'm like making food. Because I'm worried about that. Like if Piper is giving me a hard time, like if I drop her meds, she'll like go for it because she thinks she's not supposed to have it. So that makes me like nervous. I'm like, no, if I'm taking medication or I'm cooking something that maybe they shouldn't
the thing
have.
is that my mom and I couldn't find it immediately after. Like, if we had seen it and Riley going for it, we have a command.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say it now because she'll be like, what am I supposed to do? There's nothing. Like, she's currently sleeping and staring at me in a very but so we could have set a command, and she's always followed it even without a treat, because we reinforced it so much when she was younger. But we just didn't see it at all. And we're like, was she lightning fast? Because we had also like, one of us was watching her while I was like getting down on my knees, looking under all the furniture and everything. Like, did it bounce? Whatever. I
Yeah.
eventually found it under a piece of furniture, but it was just like after we had taken Riley. It wasn't a great moment.
I mean, I get it.
Which sends them all hiding under the table.
Yeah. I do have, like, they do leave the kitchen on command now, and I do have, like, a absolutely we started training Leave It, and she's done really well with that,
That's the
and
command, but I didn't want to say it and have Riley be like, "What? I'm not
yeah.
doing anything." But yeah, my mom got me Milanos, and so I had one. And Riley always, if she hears crinkling in the kitchen, she's like, "Something for me?" And it's like, no, and I've been saying like, "No, this has chocolate, so it's not for you." The moment I said the C word, she turned away, and I was like, "I think I accidentally trained her." My mom was like, "What
To
do you
be
mean?"
like,
I was like, "I
"Okay,
just said this," and she immediately stopped.
that's good."
Like if I dropped it, she'd probably still try it. So I'm always like always eating over the sink, a napkin, a plate, a bowl,
Mhm.
something, so that that doesn't happen. But it was like so interesting. I was like,
It
level
works.
up, achievement unlocked. Didn't even know I was going for that.
I think it's like it's really is the consistency. If you stick with it, they will pick it up and be like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Yeah, but it's like I wasn't even training for a certain word. It's like, it was just the multiple sentences of like, this is not for you. This has, or like, this has chocolate. This is not for you. Like,
Mhm.
some combination, but always saying the word chocolate and like, no, or not for you, whatever.
Mhm.
So it's just interesting.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool. It's for their safety. I'm like, whatever you have to do to keep them safe is
Oh, yeah. I think she can also tell when me and my mom are like, our commands are like more stern. It's like, it's a safety thing. So, like, those are the ones where she's like, doesn't even hedge. It, but there are other ones where she's like, "Can I get away with not doing it?" And it's like our trainer was like, "No, you have to. You can repeat a command up to 3 times, and after that, you have to give a wait period because otherwise, the dog will learn that I can just ignore this."
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Well, I mean, Piper will do that. She'll be out in the yard and she likes to just go lay in the sun. She's not even doing anything. And I'll call her and she'll ignore me. And then she's like still outside and I'm inside and I'm like refilling the plastic bin where I keep her food and she's immediately at the door. I'm like, "I literally called you not 5 seconds ago and you completely ignore me. You hear one food bag and you're like, 'Oh, hey.'"
well, what's really weird is that as Riley's gotten older, there are times where I'll call her and she'll hear me in the kitchen and she doesn't come immediately until she hears it being placed in her bowl holder. She's like, I don't need to show like my servant is doing what needs to be done. I only need to show up for the main event. And I'm like, no, when I use the command, you're supposed to when she was younger, she used to just show up no matter what this if she heard food. Riley, hi. She's like, oh God.
That's so funny. I have started to do that when she's outside and I really need her to come to where I am. I'll be like, "You want a treat? You wanna eat dinner?" And then she's like, "What? Okay."
We
Oh,
use a
you
different
baby.
word than come as well, Regina, but I don't want to say it and confuse her, especially since I'm holding her. Oh, yeah, baby.
So cute.
Okay, let's start this final sprint. I'll probably walk Riley just to make sure everything is good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, in three, nope, Riley. In 3, 2, 1, happy productivity. that was our final sprint. I walked Riley and she went to the bathroom again. And then I did nothing. How'd you do?
I am almost finished. I have one small section left, and then I'm ready to start rolling. So definitely made huge progress. And I think before I start rolling, I am going to take a break and get a snack because I have earned it. So
Awesome.
do that, get a snack, and then back to it.
I will be taking a nap.
I'm gonna sleep really good tonight.
Regina almost well, yeah. We're all on the same wavelength.
Yeah. If I didn't have an open can of paint,
Yeah. No, I mean, it's good that you're getting it done.
I will be glad when it's done.
Yeah, so this is the last day of April, which means this is the last stream of April. I am collecting co-hosts for the month of May, but until I kind of know more, I haven't scheduled those streams yet like I normally do. However, Saturday is May 4th, which is Inimitable's anniversary of forming as a company. And it will be the company's second birthday. And as such, we're hosting a live stream here on YouTube on the Inimitable Books YouTube channel. If you're watching on Chandra's YouTube channel, just search Inimitable Books LLC. You'll find us. And we're going to have some authors and some creative people who've done work for Inimitable. Come on, it's going to be very chill, just hanging out and kind of celebrating the company and what's happened in its first 2 years. So hope you can make it. And also, if you'd like to donate to the Ko-fi page, always appreciated. So yeah, thank you, everyone. And I will see hopefully everyone on Saturday.
Yep, I'll be popping in for a little bit. So
Bye.